One of the things I did put together for you is a list of links. For those of you that want Don's bonuses, or maybe that you didn't opt in for some of the bonuses and you want to kind of go back, you should be able to do that. I would recommend that you kind of go in and sign up for Don's paper. It was really, really phenomenal. It also includes free versions of the MetaStock templates that he's shown and a white paper on how everything works. And all you have to do is make sure you have that box checked. If you wanted to get any of the presenters' freebies today and you forgot to, you decided today that you wanted to get them, just go to metastock.com/traders-summit, traders-summit, and you can re-opt in to get different offers that you may have forgotten. Okay, I would tell you to do that today. Tomorrow I'm going to collate the lists for everybody and kind of get them to where they need to go so that they can fulfill the offers. Okay, some links before we kind of go back in and kind of do some things to kind of just talk a little bit about. Thanks for coming today, guys. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. These things are getting more and more popular, and we're able to attract really, really good presenters. And part of that is you guys are just come every time and you love them and you attend, and really, if we had 10 people here all day, we wouldn't really be able to get in the caliber of presenters we really are. So some of the other links, if you have questions on MetaStock, we're going to do a little bit of a MetaStock Q&A. So we'll stick around and kind of do a little bit of a wrap up. If you have questions about MetaStock, I want you to type them in, and we can play Stump the Chump. But if you have questions for our sales team, or you want to sign up for any of those offers today, go ahead and go to metastock.com/salespchat, or give us a call at 800-882-3040. The Snowbird event is metastock.com/snowbird15. And if you want to do the extended trial, metastock.com/tradersummit 3-for-1. Feedback. If you have feedback, you want to recommendations for presenters, you want to kind of say, okay, this is how you could do next event better, let me know. My email address is jeffrey.gibby@metastock.com. Okay. One of the first things I'm going to show you, and then before we kind of get into that, again, I want to thank our official sponsor, Stocks and Commodities. We really appreciate the sponsorship that they do. They literally allow us to give you 2 free months of 2 free years of Stocks and Commodities as part of our deal with them, and they've been fantastic. They've really, really been fantastic to work with. The guys over there are all really, really awesome, and hopefully they'll continue sponsoring for a long time to come. One of the biggest questions that we've had as we've kind of gone through things is how do the scanning and how do some of the expert tools work? And so I think I'm going to show you that extensively. I'm going to kind of go through that. Well, not extensively. We'll spend 5-10 minutes on how the scanning works in MetaStock and how the expert advisors and how the expert methodologies work. And then we'll kind of take any other questions that kind of come through about MetaStock. Again, I'm here as long as you want me to be. Chris asks, how do I make my MetaStock charts into candlesticks? Well, that's a pretty good question, Chris. I'll answer that right now. If you actually just double click on anything you want to change in MetaStock, for example, I just double clicked on this right here, it's going to give you the option to change it. So in this particular case, just double click. If you want to change the moving average, just double click. Change the moving average, change the color, whatever you want. So anytime you want to change anything on the chart that's already there, just right click, go to properties, or just double click, and that'll take you straight to properties. Okay? To kind of go over the scanning functionalities that's available within MetaStock, let me go ahead and just open up our Power Console. And again, I can't tell you how many people buy MetaStock because it does scanning so well, or because it can find Steve Bigelow's patterns, or because it can find Vince Vora's patterns. And it's not like it is a full-blown market scanner. It's not like you have to give it a list of 500 and then it'll return. Literally, it'll go through any stocks that you're interested in, depending on the scan, filter out all that stuff that you're not interested in, and you don't want to do that by hand. do you really want to look at 4,400 stocks trying to find a favorite trade pattern setup or miss the opportunity? I guarantee by 4,300 you're not going to see it anyway. It's all just going to look the same. So scanning is a really cool feature in MetaStock. And with the new Power Console, the way that it's set up is super easy to do. So up here we've got a checklist box of things that are available. I've got Vora Favorite Trade installed, Vora Trigger installed, and we've also got the Bigelow stuff installed. I'm going to show you a little bit of some examples of both of those. But literally what you would do is you find on this list the patterns that you want to scan for, and you can check as many of these as you want. Okay, but if we selected all 4 of these, and then we came down here, we can then select our instruments that we want to follow. And again, if you're interested in equities, the data is going to be available. You just select optional stocks. If you want to do ETFs, there's a list for that. If you're interested in something more like futures, there's a list for those. If you're interested in index constituents, say, hey, I just want to look through the NASDAQ 100 real quick, there's a list for that. We've pretty much put together some really awesome lists. And the one other thing that's been hugely beneficial is we've been able to attract a lot of customers internationally because we have data that's available in Asia and Australia and India and you name it. I mean, it's 181 exchanges. The partnership that we have with Thomson Reuters has been extremely beneficial towards getting those available. Okay, so again, what you're going to do is just select the list that you want. You select the thing and you click on start. I'm not going to run it though because it takes 5 or 6 minutes. What we'll do is we'll just show you how the reports look. So if I hover over this, basically this one looks for bearish kicker, bearish flutter kick, bullish kicker, bullish flutter click. So if I open this up, this was against all of the optionable stocks and I did it this morning. It's simply going to list out the stocks that either have these column headers basically will have a 1 or a 0 in them. This is the bearish flutter kick. So if I'm looking for a bearish flutter kick, that's Primerica. If I'm looking for a bearish kicker pattern, that's going to be this column. And there's quite a few of those. Bullish kickers and bullish flutter kicks. Okay. Now I can from here go ahead and open up the chart and look at it from there. But usually what I'll do is I'll just click on the save list here. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, I want to create a new list, and then I'll call this the Bigelow chart patterns. And I'll usually put a date behind it so I can remember to delete it in 6 months, so 5/23. Go ahead and create that, and then all of these stocks are going to be saved for you, and you can go in and look at them. And then instead of looking at 4,000, you're just going to be looking at the ones that are interesting to you. Okay, the same is true for those of you that were interested in Vince's stuff. We basically programmed all of his setups as a scan. So if you're looking at the market at closed and you just want to find all the stocks that had the setup today, you can do that. We also have his trigger scans. So if you're halfway through the day and you just want to run a scan to see if anything's triggered into an actual trade today, you can run that scan as well. And then the reports look the same and you can manage and maintain the systems the same way. Works really, really well for that. Okay. I also want to kind of spend a little bit of time in the Expert Advisor. So before I showed you the Expert Advisor commentary for Bigelow and how it kind of tells you what every pattern is and how those work, I wanted to spend a second to show you how the pattern commentary works for Vince Vora and the stuff that he does. So this is one of the charts I was looking at, or one of the charts that was brought up in his class today. It was called Skywork Solutions. Okay, and with this particular one, every time there's a setup on the chart, you actually get a green triangle. You get a buy signal, and then you get your exits as well. Here we have the same thing. You have the setup, the trigger, and then the exit. We are not currently in a position on this, but this was one of the ones that was brought up in the class today. The cool thing about this is, like, let's say we were looking at this on November 20th when we had the setup bar. Or let's say we ran the scan back on November 20th and we came up with this as a setup bar. I love this commentary functionality. On the setup bar, I'm just going to move our commentary to that day. So right now it's looking at 11:20. So let's say you had just run your scan for this. It's going to basically say, okay, there's a setup today. Excuse me. And then I'm going to cough for a second. To confirm this is a valid buying opportunity, you would wait for a trade above 64.92, while a trade below 62.80 would invalidate the trade. And then it kind of tells you some different ways you could take this as a trade. And it'll also tell you, okay, once you get long, your initial stop loss is going to be at 62.80. So if you're going through one of these educational classes that have been offered today, this is, my chart just refreshed, but this is basically going to give you all of the rules. It's going to say, it's going to take out all of the interpretation for you. It's going to help you be very, very specific about remembering the rules. Now, let's say we come back tomorrow, we're watching for that trade, then we get a trigger. So in that particular case, we just say, okay, you're in a long trade. If you're currently long, your stop should be here. And as you kind of move through that trade, as our stop loss goes up, we're just going to basically tell you where that needs to be. And then finally, when we get, and here it's going to move up again at 67.17. When we get out of that trade, it'll go ahead and tell you, you should get out of your position. So really it allows you to kind of take a mechanical approach to what you're doing. And it's phenomenal in that respect. And that's really how a lot of them work, is it's really kind of, again, the idea behind technical analysis and the idea behind MetaStock is it's designed to save you time, and it's designed to help you find opportunities. And for the amount that they charge for MetaStock, it's well worth it. How many points would you need to make every month to make up $59, which is what you pay for MetaStock? Not many. Or even on the real-time version, it's still not very many. It's a very effective tool to help you find trades. One other thing before we get into kind of enhanced Q&A, these offers are great because they give you the ability to really do an extended trial on MetaStock. So you can get MetaStock for 3 months. That's MetaStock real time with all the Zenith data and news. You get Steve Bigelow's candle profit systems as part of the offer today, and you get the bonus pre-filter scans, which just basically are their price and volume scans, is what they are. You're going to get Stocks and Commodities magazine for 2 years for free, and it's $549, which is a discount of $600. We do also offer all but the MetaStock part of that on a Meta money back guarantee. You can cancel if it's not helpful for you. And it gives you the chance to evaluate MetaStock until June, July, August 23rd. So all summer you'll be using MetaStock, and by the end you should be making money. And if you're not, you should definitely cancel your subscription. But to take advantage of that, or if you have questions that you want to talk to somebody about, we do have people that are here today to help you get set up and to answer any questions you might have. They'd love to hear from you. Give them a call, 800-882-3040. You can also chat online with them at metastock.com/saleschat. Okay. We also do have 3 months of MetaStock daily charts, which updates hourly. It's not real time. That's the biggest difference, aside from the Zenith news. And that's available for just $358 with all of the bonuses still. So it's $218 saving. Same thing to order. Just give us a call, 800-882-3040, metastock.com/saleschat. Okay. Let's, if you prefer to do an extended trial, maybe you want to just look at MetaStock before you buy Bigelow stuff, that's fine. You can get an extended trial where you buy 1 month of MetaStock and get 2 for free. And you can do that at metastock.com/tradersummit 3-for-1. The phone number and the email address are the same. Let's tackle some questions. I'm going to cough, so I'm going to go quiet for a second because I got something in my throat. Okay, lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. Let's go ahead and go back up. I'm going to try, and if I miss any of your questions, go ahead and repost them. I'm trying to determine where Don's questions left off and where mine are here. We had a lot of questions on the archives. I'll send those to you this week as soon as they're available. It's a lot of video to archive, and it's going to be about 7-8 hours of video. So it takes a little bit of time, and I'll send those out as soon as we've got them ready on the website. Tom Z asked, will Don's template work in end of day? I'm pretty sure they will. We went back and we looked at exactly what he was looking at in the data that he's calling, and I'm fairly certain, I'd say 95% sure, that they will work. And since they're free, if they don't, I'll give you your money back. Let's see. How do I access the recordings? We'll have those available later in the week for you. I'll send out the link when it's all ready and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and put up all the links up here while we look at the questions. The URL for the bonuses, let me go ahead and repost that. Here's actually all of the links from today. And I'm going to go ahead and post them all wholesale into this chat window. Okay. So that the presenter offers will be metastock.com/tradersummit. Do that now. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go through all of the lists and kind of get them all collated the way they need to be so I can fire them off. So do them before tomorrow morning or you won't get them. Okay. Michael says, thanks for a great event. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. They do. Stephen actually asked a question where they'll actually be. They're going to be right here, but they're not going to be there yet. Summit-archives. I believe this is the right link. Again, if that isn't correct, I'll basically send you the correct one when they're available. So don't opt out of our mailing list. I answered Chris's question about how to add meta candlesticks to his charts. Brent asked a question about currencies. So we'll go ahead and answer Brent's question about currencies. Yeah, MetaStock actually does work with stocks. It works with futures. It works with currencies. And we cover about 181 exchanges globally. Thomson Reuters brags that they have 95% of the global market cap. So if you're interested in it and you're in London, you'll be able to use it. If you're in Australia, you're going to be able to use it. If you want currencies, you'll definitely be able to get all of the major pairs and as well as all of the weird odd pairs that you're probably not interested in either. So, and actually Reuters feed is probably one of the most deepest feeds. It has, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 or 800 contributors that feed into their data feed. So it's not like you're getting it from a broker where it's just the top of the market stuff. For those of you that do currencies or do real time or have access to RT, I'd recommend you spend some time in our Zenith platform. It's really, really cool. Scott asked a question, after the trial, how much does MetaStock cost? And it's anywhere in the neighborhood of $59 for DC to $250 for RT. Now, what I would recommend that you do is go ahead and do the trial, but talk to one of our guys about kind of what options are available, because you can bring your monthly cost down fairly significantly by doing a purchase of MetaStock and not leasing it ongoing. There are some data costs that go along with that afterwards, but it does bring down your cost pretty substantially. The reason I like to focus on the subscriptions is I can give you the extended trial. And that makes it very easy for you to justify a purchase because you get so much time to play with it that by the end you're going to really know whether or not you like it. So if you want to go through some pricing examples and you're interested in Forex, give our sales guys a call. They want to hear from you anyway, and they'll kind of walk you through, okay, what are you trading? What is it that you're looking to do? Okay, here are the options after your extended trial. But start with the extended trial because that way you can evaluate it, make sure you're comfortable with it, and if it's going to help you make money then and save you time and all that kind of good stuff, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. If it doesn't, then you shouldn't keep it anyway. The price to buy the next question was, what is the price to buy MetaStock? Our end of day package as a one-time cost is $499. As a Summit attendee, you'll get an option of $449. The real-time and that is the version that's been rated 21 years in a row, #1. The real-time version is actually $13.95, and the discount for Summit attendees will be $11.95. Again, with that one hasn't won 21 years in a row. It's only won 11 years for Stop Sim Commodities Reader's Choice Award. It's only been available for like 12 or 13 years, so it kind of it hasn't won all that time. The Vince Voris scans are awesome in MetaStock, Scott, and I do like Scott a lot, I do like you a lot, Scott, too, but I do like Vince a lot. We don't market and retail his scans. They're available as part of his training curriculum, and they're very inexpensive. But what I would have you do is contact Trading Winds to go through the costs on those. They are very, very well liked by his students, and of course the reason he's here today is because we like him and we respect him. We don't mess around with people that we don't think are have good offers. So Scott asked, is Jamaica included? Actually, Jamaica is one of the Jamaican stock exchanges not included. You can't get it in Reuters, and there's 52 stocks that you will never be able to trade. Sorry, Scott. Adrian asked, does it include Forex? All of the offers do include Forex, Adriana. So, and it might be, if you're only doing Forex, I definitely recommend that you call in and talk to our guys, because the Forex pricing is a little cheaper than the full market pricing. So make sure that they know that you're only doing Forex, so that they'll put you on the lower rate for it. It's about $50 cheaper. Richard asked a question, how do you update exchange symbols? How do you update them on a regular basis in MetaStock? Okay, I can answer that one. Let's go ahead and go over here in a web browser. I'm going to go to our metastock.com site. While we're there, I'll show you a couple of things as well in terms of how to get started with MetaStock and some things that you existing users may not know. But to update your symbols, what you'll do, just click on support right here. You'll come in here to, I believe it's download updates. I just did this the other day, so it's fresh. There's a symbol utility file, and you click on that, and then just download this. No, wrong place. Sorry. Let's go back one. Symbol lookup files, I believe is it. Okay, and this is just this little file. We'll get you all the latest symbols and all the latest lists. Thanks for the question. Dennis asks, is there a connection between MetaStock and other brokers like Options House? So what I'm asking is, if I find a trade in MetaStock, is there a way to implement that trade with the broker? At this point, there isn't a connection with that. We are working on that for a future release. Dennis, thanks for the question. Okay, let's go down. Hein said, and we're getting to the end of these questions, but Hein, I think it's Hein, it might be Hene. Please, could you clarify the specials today again and what it is included of each one? And are you able to give a brief indication of the advantage of that to the 3-for-1 deal? I only trade ASX at this stage, and I would like to know which is the best option for me. Okay, well, I can absolutely do that. I'm here to please. Let's go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint, and let's just go through the offers real quickly. I've got them all right here. Okay, here's the first one. This is our Summit Package RT. Okay, and what it includes is 3 months of MetaStock real-time, 3 months of MetaStock Zenith data and news. It includes all of Steve Bigelow's stuff, like his candle profit systems, which allows you to, if you're here at the start today, which seems like a long time ago right now, he went through all of his patterns, but it includes all of his patterns, his scans, and his expert advisors. It also includes his pre-filter scans or his market setup scans, and it includes 2 years of stocks and commodities. So that is package number one. It's $549. The only difference between this one and this one is this one is our what we call our hourly update version of MetaStock. It updates every hour instead of real time. It includes, and it's a couple $100 cheaper, so it's $358, and it includes everything else. Now, the biggest difference between this, Hein, and just the extended trial is with the extended trial, your prices are going to go back down around $300. It doesn't include, what it doesn't include is the 2 years of stocks and commodities. You get 5 months of stocks and commodities with it. And it doesn't include any of the Steve Bigelow stuff. And you can start out that way if you want. You can always order Steve Bigelow later. But his add-on's very, very popular. People love it. I'd recommend you try it. And we've actually sold a lot of them in ASX too, if that means anything for you. The Steve Bigelow part of your purchase is totally backed by our 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you decide, hey, I do love MetaStock and I'm going to keep it, which is likely, but I don't like Steve Bigelow, which is highly unlikely, then you could always just kind of return that and we'd give you a refund on that part of the package. I hope that was helpful for you, Hein, in terms of kind of spinning it up in terms of what the different packages are. So there's really 3 options that are available. Real time with Bigelow, end of day without, or I should keep calling it end of day, old habits, the hourly update version, and then just the extended trial. If that was still confusing for you, just give us a call or chat in. We've got people here that can kind of go through and really kind of make sure that that's very, very clear. Hopefully that was clear though. Okay. And then asks, does Vince Vora's class come with all the scans in MetaStock? If you do Vince Vora's class, it will come with the MetaStock scan. Well, the Vince Vora's scans are available from tradingwins.com. So just give them a call and they can tell you what you need to do to get those. And people love them. I'd recommend you give them a call. They were programmed by me and my programmer here, and they're really, really good. We did a good job of. I think we did a good job with it. So far, people really, really like it. Scott says, I love this one. What is the cost? I think we just went through that. Heinz says, please verify until what time the offer is available. Our guys will be here as long as they're getting phone calls. Everybody's here on a holiday weekend, and everybody came in. So we'll be here as long as you need us to be, Hein. Once we start getting phone calls, everybody's going to go and enjoy their Saturday. And by the way, Hein, you're in Australia. It's actually a market holiday today, or it's actually a holiday weekend here in the U.S., so everybody's anxious to get home. But they'll be here until they stop getting interest in activity. Dan says, do we own MetaStock after paying $5.49 for the promotion? That gives you a 3 months access to MetaStock. To be very, very clear with you, it's basically our extended trial that we're including as part of the package. You can purchase MetaStock after that. It might make sense for you to stay on the lease. Depending on what you're trading. If you're trading just stocks, for example, it probably makes sense to buy it afterwards. If you're trading stocks and futures, it probably makes sense to lease it afterwards. It just depends on what you're doing. So I would just call in and talk to our guys, 800-882-3040. They can kind of go through what you're trading and what your options are after that extended trial. Oh, good question. Heinz says, what's the phone number I can call in for international? I am embarrassed. I used to have it memorized. I don't anymore. Let's go ahead and find it, though. We can absolutely find that. So the phone number that you call in internationally is 801-506-0900. I had that memorized until they changed it, and then I didn't have it memorized anymore. So it's 801-506-0900. Richard said, I'm not quite sure about what TradingWinds is. Is this an add-on or a subscription service? TradingWinds is an independent company of MetaStock, Richard. What we've actually done is we've officially partnered with them. And we take what they teach in their class, and we've plugged it into MetaStock. So if you take any of the TradingWinds classes, they have the scans and the indicators and the experts that are available, and they can make those available for you. Alessa says, and this kind of feeds into Richard's question, I don't have the Vince Vora scans in MetaStock. That's if you go to their classes or if you get them from TradingWinds, they'll be added, but they're not something that's included with MetaStock, the Vince Vora scans. You have to be one of their students to get it. And if you're looking for education, their education's really, really inexpensive and really, really good. So I'd recommend you take a look at it. Joe Ferret said, is Steve Bigelow's program real-time on any time frame or for day trading? You can, with MetaStock, with any of the methodologies, with a few exceptions, apply the methods to any time frame. So for example, if we're looking at the Bigelow chart pattern view, and we'll just do that real quick. If we're looking at the CPS stuff for Bigelow, oops, CPS. Heck, let's just find it up here. See, apply. Okay, we'll go ahead and wow, look at that J hook right before that huge move up. That's nice. This is on a weekly basis right now. I can change that to any time frame that I want. We could look at how it looks on daily. Daily, it would have given us a bull kicker right back here. And you can apply it to any time frame. So we can come in here and put it on hourly or 30 minutes, or we can even do a custom time frame down here. Now, the recommendation I have for you is if you're looking at it in a time frame, I don't care what that time frame is, even if it's daily, what I would recommend that you do is that you look at a lot of charts and a lot of examples on that time frame to make sure that it's giving good signals on that time frame and that you're comfortable with the signals that it's going out. And as long as those criteria are met and you do your due diligence on that time frame, it will work on any time frame. But I think one of the best things about having a technical system is the fact that it helps you eliminate kind of those emotional judgments that just screw you over when you're trading. And in this particular case, so a little bit of due diligence is going to go a long way when you start to go live with the system. Okay? How much is, okay, Tom asked, how much is the Vora add-on? I would have you contact Trading Winds directly for that, just because they basically include it with their coaching class. And I don't think it's very expensive. I think it's about $300 for the My Favorite Trade setup with the class and everything like that. So I would just recommend you give them a call and talk to them about the best way for you to get that. We don't market it. I mean, we do market it here, but we don't sell it yet. I plan on bringing that into the catalog shortly. Ali says, how does MetaStock and InvestTools compare? That's a good question. And, you know, I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on InvestTools by any stretch of the imagination. Because it's been a long time since I've worked on inside sales, that kind of stuff. When I did look at InvestTools, it was really, really good for the strategies that they taught. So, and I remember actually the reason I started coding for MetaStock is I had an InvestTools customer call me one day, and he said, and this is back when I was in inside sales and was talking to people, but he said he wanted to find when the RSI did something and the MACD, it's a number of years ago, did something, and then something else happened on the chart. And what he wanted to be able to do is he wanted to scan for that scenario. And I said to him, you know, if I can do that for you, will you buy MetaStock today? And he said yes. So I went and wrote the scan for him. I actually had to sit down with our formula guy, but we put it together and got it ready for him. And he loved MetaStock. My experience with InvestTools is probably a decade old. We don't get a lot of questions with them, and I don't get any questions about them at all anymore because I just don't work in that side of the business. But the real reason that we sell a lot of MetaStock, it really comes down to quite a few things actually. It's really easy to program stuff. The toolbox, the formula language that they've got, if you're looking to create a basic pre-filter scan, it's super easy to do that. Whereas in other programs, it doesn't seem to be possible or is extremely hard, like you have to learn Java hard. That's not the case with MetaStock. It's super easy. Full market scanning is really something that we do very, very well that doesn't seem to be available. And when I say full market scanning, I do mean full market scanning. A lot of the scanners will say, yeah, we'll update you on this in real time, but just give us 500 symbols that you'd like us to look at. That's not scanning. That's really more of a kind of a keeping an eye on the stocks that you're interested in. With MetaStock, when we say full market scanning, we mean it. System testing is a really good thing. A lot of system testers allow you to kind of go in and test one trading idea against a stock or multiple trading ideas against a stock. we do a lot more thorough back testing by whole markets at a time against a system if you want. And of course, forecasting, which we talked about a few hours ago, is very, very unique for MetaStock. So I think that kind of boils down kind of our core uniquely marketable features, but full market scanning, kind of the testing environment, and the forecaster are kind of where we shine hard. And that's why those are kind of the things that have helped us win the Stocks and Commodities Award for the length of time that we have. So thanks for the question. I hope that helps you. I know it wasn't a full answer, but it was. I think it'll give you a good idea of kind of what the advantages are. AS says, what does MetaStock have for options traders in the way of risk analysis tools to view Greeks, profit loss, margin requirements, etc., etc., etc.? A lot of that, that's a really, really detailed question. I want to thank you for it. In MetaStock DC, you don't have a lot of tools like that. In MetaStock RT, you don't either, but in MetaStock Zenith, there are all kinds of tools around doing options volatility, and some of the stuff that even Don talked about in his last presentation. What I would say is that's a great resource if you go with MetaStock RT. We probably 40%, well actually, according to the last survey that we did of our customers, 40% of them were trading options, and most of them are looking for the underlying. So in other words, if I have an idea of these are the stocks that I want to trade out of the 4,500 optionable that are available, and this is the direction I want to go with that, and it can be non-directional, like a lot of the stuff that Don talks about is very non-directional, but these are the stocks. Finding the options is actually a little bit easier. So, but there is some stuff in Zenith I'd encourage you to look at, and again, it's about finding that underlying, which is what I do with it. Okay, thanks, AS. Scott says, thanks, Jeff, that was great. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Daniel says, can you tell more slowly again the URL to modify off of the selectioner? I'm not sure what you're saying with that, but let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to put up all of the links for you. So I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I am wrong, it's happened twice. But I think what you're asking is, where do I sign up for the bonuses like the Don Fishback bonus? So let me just put up all the links again. I'm just trying to get it to that page. Back. Okay, here's all the links. So if you want to sign up for a new presenter offer, just go to metastock.com/tradersummit. And then there's the link for setting up MetaStock on a 3-for-1. And here's the phone numbers to call in. And of course, feedback is appreciated. If you have any question, any feedback, good, bad, ugly, not ugly, send it over to me. I'd love to kind of hear your opinions of today. Mike says, what are the day, week, month minimum times set for day trader? Okay, I'm going to answer that question as best as I think I understand it. Let's go ahead and go back into MetaStock real quick. Here we've got kind of the default, if you would, increments. Anytime you want to, you can click on this custom. So if you don't want to do 1, 5, 10, 30, or hourly, you can click on custom. And you pretty much set up anything you want to. So I could say, okay, well, I want a 7-minute bar, and you'd get a 7-minute bar. Or you could come in here and say, well, I want a 92 tick period, and you get a 92 tick period. So that's where you would set anything that's not a default periodicity is right there. To get to that window again, just click on this custom right here and go to daily. Okay. Or I'm sorry, click on this daily, this D, and then go to the periodicity that you want. And if you want something that's not on the list, click on custom. These things are okay. Jeff says, please add me to your list. I need to revise and add to my account. Please call me with the options. I'll have one of our sales guys call you, Jeff, to help you out, okay? Or just call in. Joe Perrette asks, and then he left, but we've been going through questions for a while now. We won't hold that. How much is the advanced trading on MetaStock? Actually, there's no cost for any of the training that we do for MetaStock. So as part of your subscription, you're going to get actually our Unleash the Power of MetaStock, which is like a 4 or 5 hour advanced training that kind of walks you through all of the tools. That's included. There's no additional cost. We have a lot of other videos that kind of dig in on our website. If you come to our website and go back to that support section right here, there's actually some online training that's available right here that's totally free of charge that you can go through at your own pace. There's even a lot, excuse me, I got a hiccup all of a sudden. There's even a lot of stuff that's available here that's just kind of totally free of charge, like formulas and that kind of stuff. What are the costs versus the 2 subscriptions? I'll put those slides up again for you. And again, feel free to talk to our guys. They came in so they could help you today, and I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. But if you want to do RT, it's the real time for 3 months. It's going to be $549. If you want to do the DC or the hourly version of MetaStock, it's $358. So it's about $200 difference between the 2 versions. So again, feel free to call us, 1-800-882-3040, or chat in at the sales chat, and they can talk a lot about, they can kind of go into a lot of the details and make sure you understand everything. Adriana says, between the 2 versions, is there a time lag? Yes, there is. This one, the real-time option updates real-time, and the DC version only updates once an hour during the day. Daniel asks, how much for an upgrade between DC 14 and RT? Daniel, I'm going to actually defer to our sales guys on that. Give them a call. It's a very, very good price, but I'm not sure what it is, and I don't want to misquote you. But I will say you can still get the 2 years of stocks and commodities with that offer. Okay. Today's offer, yes, Hein, does include LCI. So either if you get the real-time or the DC version of MetaStock, you will get the LCI indicator as part of it. Judy says, do you have tick in multiple time frames? Yes. I think I answered this since you asked it, but you can actually say, I want to exit tick chart, and you can type in whatever tick you want in there. Don says, I missed the earlier presentations due to working, so I'm looking forward to the recording. Was wondering about MetaStock Zenith and what it covers. Okay, well, let me give you, Don, some quick information on Zenith. Zenith is an incredible application. Thomson Reuters developed it. They spent about $1 billion on it. And I've actually got it open, but I don't think I'm going to actually get to, that's a rabbit hole we could go down for another 3 or 4 hours. Anyway, Thomson Reuters was developing a solution. If you're not familiar with who Thomson Reuters is, they're a huge company, a very big news company, and it's about a $19 billion a year company. 90% of what they do is sell data and news to banks and institutions and hedge funds and mutual funds so that they can make decisions on the market. So they spent about $1 billion developing a state-of-the-art package to look at fundamentals, news, earnings. I mean, you can even go in there and do market sentiment. Like you could go in and type in Apple and see how it's trending on Twitter. There's just so much in there. But it's really kind of a package that's a part of this. It's not part of this DC package, but it's part of our RT package. And it gives you all kinds of fantastic reports and that kind of stuff. What I would, if you want to kind of get a better, kind of more in-depth look at MetaStock, the MetaStock Zenith platform, because literally I could spend 3 or 4 days on it. I just come up to our website, click on products right here, and under Zenith, there's a little video you can watch that's really going to give you a detailed look on that. So go ahead and do that. And thanks for the question, Don. It's a really great package. I like it. There's some really good research in there that I look at quite frequently. You're welcome, Hein. Adrienne says, are the 3 offers only good for today or all weekend? I don't have a deadline, and well, I should tell you that there's a deadline. The only thing that there's a huge deadline on right now is, let's go back to the list of slides. If you didn't sign up for a presenter offer and have decided that you want it, like let's say you wanted to get stocks and commodities the free month, you're going to want to do that between now and tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning I'm going to pull the list for those presenter offers, collate them, and get them to where they need to go. It's going to take me a few hours tomorrow. So you want to do that right away. For MetaStock, we are going to start next week. We're going to start to do a lot of webinars to people that sign up here at the show. So I would recommend the earlier the better, so that you can kind of come in and kind of go through the training classes that we do. We have a whole curriculum on how to use scanning and that kind of stuff that I'm going to do as part of this summit. We always do it. And so if you're kind of on the fence about it, go ahead and sign up so that you kind of have everything installed and you can practice with things. Even if you don't do that, though, you're still going to get invited to the additional training classes that'll come after the summit. So we're not going to put a lot of pressure on you to do it. We want to do it when you're comfortable. But with all that being said, go ahead and try it. You're going to love it. I wouldn't trade without it. Jay says, why would someone not like Steve Bigelow? He's one of the greatest. Well, I have no good argument on why he isn't. I love Steve. He's a great friend of mine. Let's see. Darren asks, where can I have Steve Primo's office? Let me get some of the other. Do I have it still? Oh yeah, he emailed it to me. Let me look it up. I'll get it for you. It's like, can I even get that for you anymore? That's one of the things that I need to do for next one, is actually kind of have all of the presenters give me their links in advance, so I can kind of include that on this slide. So I think Steve actually sent it to me this morning, though. Okay, yeah, I have it. Here it is. And initially we had taken their website down. It seems to be functioning again. So if you tried to sign up for that earlier and weren't able to, it is working now. And here is the promotion link. Okay, for Steve Primo's offer. Michael says, we had a holiday weekend last week in Canada. I hope you enjoyed it, Michael. We have one this weekend, and we're going to work instead. That's just how we roll here at MetaStock. There is a third promotion. So the two different, Rick asks, I thought there was a third promotion. There are three promotions. You can either do MetaStock and Steve Bigelow. You can do that in real time or end of day, or you can just do the extended trial at the metastock.com/trader summit 3-for-1. So there was three different offers. And there also, I also forgot to put it on this page, but we also have been talking about the Snowbird event, which is going to be a lot of fun this year. It's, let's see, I thought I put that on this slide, but let's go back. Here it is, metastock.com/snowbird15. Carl said, did you say, Tom asked a question. He said, to get the offers, it looks like I need to re-register for the webinar. Is that correct? That is correct. That's the only way to get the offers. And if you did already sign up for all the ones that you wanted when you initially registered, don't worry about it. You've already got it. You're good. Carl said, you said there's an hourly data updated version MetaStock? Yes. So there's either the real-time option or the hourly update, and there's about a $200 difference in price between the two versions. If we buy MetaStock, how long can we still get access to the database? If you buy the offer, you'll have access to everything for 3 months. If you buy MetaStock, they'll set it up so that you also get access to the database for 3 months. And then to kind of talk about that as an option, just give us a call, 800-882-3040. Okay. Peter says, what's the difference between leasing and owning MetaStock? The real difference, well, it might be, in some cases, it's smarter to lease it because it's actually cheaper than buying it. But that's really for people that are looking at end of day and are looking at stocks and futures particularly. But usually purchasing MetaStock will save you money. That's the big difference. Other than that, there's not a huge difference. So what I would recommend is call and talk to our guys about what what you're trading, and they can help you understand what is the best offer. But what you want to do initially is sign up for the 3-for-1, because again, I want you to be real comfortable with MetaStock. I want to have it making money for you before you make a purchase decision. If you do buy it, we do give you a money back guarantee on it anyway. But I mean, it's a 3 month. It's 3 months access to the full thing, so it's a great way to kind of get going. Tom left because he's the grill master tonight. Ali said thanks for a great event. Sunil asked a question about the formula language in MetaStock. It's very Excel based. It's very, very easy to use. I've written a lot of things for it over the years. I have no interest in being a programmer, but it is a very, very easy to use formula language. It's not like Easy Language, which is kind of Pascal in nature. It's a lot easier to work with, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of the people that I talk to that are a little bit more objective about the thing. Dan says, are there data feeds from Europe and Asia that are available? Yeah, absolutely. And generally when you set up, you're going to say, I'm interested in North America, or I'm interested in Asia, or I'm interested in Europe. And depending on what you're interested in, they'll sign you up for what you're interested in. But we have data all over the place. MH says, if we purchase today, do we get the extended trial as well? Yes, absolutely. You get an extended trial on the package. And thanks for buying, MH. We appreciate it. If you're interested in Steve Primo's offer, I think you probably asked that, and I probably posted the link since you did. Just let me see if I can copy this back onto the clipboard. Copy email. Oh, no, that's his email address. It's the link I just posted just up a little bit in the chat. Let's see, where was I in the chat list? Okay. What is the difference between Stuart McPhee scans and Vince Vora's scans? They are different. One is based on, this is going to sound so dumb as an answer, but one is based on Stuart's work, and it's really good. And the other one is based on Vince Vora's pattern that he talked about today. There's a couple of different ones that are available for Vora, and his are, they're quite different, actually. They're kind of the methodologies that they use are quite different as well. Clint asked a question, will MetaStock work on a Mac? The answer to that is yes, but. Yes, but it has to be a newer version of Mac that uses Intel chip, and you have to use Boot Camp and Parallels. It's a PC-based product. That being said, it's a Windows-based product, I should say. That being said, it works really, really well on a Mac if you're willing to buy Windows for it. Don asked a question. Thanks. Or he just says thanks. You're welcome, Don. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope it was a good experience for you. Jeffrey says, I'm trying to sign up for the bonuses from the presenters. I'm getting an error saying enter a country, USA. I have it. It will not accept. What you'll want to do, actually, Jeffrey, is just type in USA in all capitals, and then it should accept. And if it still gives you a problem, call one of our guys, and they'll get them done for you. Don Fishback is actually this link right here, which is the metastock.com/trader summit. His offer today was totally free. So as long as you opted in to get Fishback's offer, you're going to get everything he talked about today. Okay? Richard said, why did I get cut off from Steve Primo's webinar in the last 5 minutes? Richard, I'm sorry that happened. The only thing I can say is it wasn't me. I didn't kick you out of the room. Maybe it was an internet connectivity issue or something along those lines. We certainly didn't boot anybody from the room on our end, so I'm sorry if you got ejected from the event. If you miss the last 5 minutes, you'll be able to watch it when the replays come out a little bit later in the week. Okay. Edward, you're welcome. Thanks for coming today. We really appreciated it. Frank, all of the costs associated with the offers, with the exception of exchange fees for real-time information, are included in the price. With exchange fees, they vary from exchange to exchange and are totally optional. But like, for example, if you want to get New York Stock Exchange real-time they're going to charge you $3 for that, and you have to sign an agreement to get it from them. If you don't, it's a 15-minute delay. So everything but the exchange fees for real time are included in the prices on those slides earlier. Now, if you have questions about exchange fees, what those are or what they're going to be, how much they're going to be, et cetera, give us a call. We're here to help. Brent says, I'm sorry I had to leave for a couple minutes. Why did you need to go to the bathroom in a 7-hour block, Brent? But the question is I asked if MetaStock can be used with Forex. Yes, absolutely. That and futures and stocks and Asian information. And we basically, with our Reuters partnership, cover about 85% of the global market cap. Another question on the link to Don Fishback's offer, just sign up for it at that presenter offers page right there. Michael, I'm sorry you got cut off in the Vora's presentation. We did reach capacity today, and so there's about 10 to 15 people. That's why we shut down in the middle. There's about 10 to 15 people we understand that weren't able to get back into the room or into the room at all. So if you're one of those guys, that's why we actually shut down the room so that we could reset our count and get you in. So I apologize if that happened. We're looking at another technology that looks really promising for our next event, which is going to be later in the year. All right, that looks like the end of the questions. Let's go ahead and I want to say a few things. Thanks for coming today. Really appreciate everybody coming, especially on a holiday weekend. A very, very successful event. It just looks like it keeps getting better and better. We get more signups every time. We get less issues every time, and we get really good speakers to these things. So thanks for coming and making us a part of your Memorial Day celebration. And also thanks to all of the friends and partners that we had come in and the speakers that came in to talk today. Really appreciate the support that we've kind of got in MetaStock over the years. So we really, these events are, in my opinion, fantastic. To get some of the best speakers in the industry to come in and give us classes and to be able to make it for free, it's awesome. So if you have feedback, please feel free to chime in, Jeffrey Gibby at metastock.com. If you have questions on MetaStock, again, try it out. You're going to love it. There's a reason it's been rated #1 for the last 21 years in a row. Give it a shot. If it saves you a little bit of time, if it helps you make a few more dollars every time you make a trade, if it takes you from profitable to non-profitable, is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. Give it a go. Okay, that's it for me. I'm going to go home, take a nap. These things are tiring. Thanks, guys. We will see you at the next one. And in the meantime, give me your feedback. And thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it.